There we go. Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today I'm with my bros, Travis and Joel from Bad Crypto. How goes it?
We're accessories.
We're accessories.
I'm not an accessory to a crime, not yet. We're just
Right?
plotting still.
I didn't say a crime. I just said we're accessories. Kind of like bottle opener.
I think that
Ah,
soundbite could be used as Exhibit A in court for admission to whatever the hell used Trump up. Well, what is up with bad coin, man? That's there you go.
It's
Accessories to creating a competitor to the U.S. currency.
it's not true.
Well, we didn't
It's a
create it.
shit coin. We create. Actually, somebody they created it for us, so it's good.
We didn't create it at all. Marshall Long took it upon himself. It's a
Oh,
community
throw
project.
Marshall right under the bus.
And
It is.
we created the bad coin on the BitShares platform, but people have swapped out their tokens to the new chain that Marshall and his team created, and it's our understanding that there's a bad association that's going to be launching soon that's going to work the community project.
I've been wanting to dive more into that. What's up with the bad coin? How is it a proof of work, proof of stake? What's up? What's the deal with it?
It's proof of bad.
Proof of
Mhm.
bad. I like that.
It's actually it is a proof of work token, and it has 5 different algorithms. So depending on how powerful your equipment is, it connects you to that particular algorithm and how much hash power that you have. And every block is solved each minute. The new block's solved, and basically each one of those algorithms are fighting to solve that block. But a lot of times the way that it's set up is that, so say you have a whole lot of hash power powered up on the SHA-256 algorithm, and it's all so the more hash you have, the higher the difficulty it is for that particular algorithm.
Right.
So say for example, if there's like 20 MacBooks and PCs all on the yes script algorithm, then that has a lot lower hash rate, and so that has a lot lower difficulty. Well, if you have a whole bunch of hash rate over here on the SHA-256 algorithm, that difficulty is really hard, and so it basically balances out over time to sort of make it all equal. So you can't have like a whole server farm full of ASIC computers and have an advantage over somebody who's got a regular MacBook.
Oh, gotcha. We got Jordan Fader says, I'm mining bad coin. All right, bro, stay bad. That's what's up. So we got some
Yeah.
miners in the chat.
That's cool. We're
Major
actually,
miners.
yeah, that's good.
I hope they're overage miners.
Yeah, that's good. As Joel mentioned, what's pretty cool is he's mentioned the bad association, the bad coin asset development association, badass, has been the process of being created, and it's totally badass.
What are they?
And community members that want to
acronyms, right?
spread
Those are
the
some
good
good
news
ones.
about bad coin or bad asseters.
It's true.
Bad asseters, ambassadors. I love the play on words. I'm a sucker for puns, and crypto's got a whole bunch of them. And the fact that we're creating this whole entire new, it's not even an industry yet. It's still a space. But as the industry is built and formed, new linguistics and terminologies are going to be created that become pretty much household staple terms. So these terms that you are coming up with may actually stick around. You never know.
You're a badasseter.
Yeah, I am a badasseter. I like it. I'm gonna add that to my Twitter bio.
Yeah, you you wear the bad coin socks and you rock the badness. That's good. You've
Make
been
sure
on
you
bad.
have
You've
your-
been on bad
Your
crypto.
pronouns on there, bad and very bad.
Do you remember the first time we ran into each other and our paths crossed in the crypto sphere?
I do exactly remember the exact moment. You, Mr. Joel Com.
Was it somewhere in outer space?
No, that's where you're at right now, though. That's a
Was
beautiful
it
background.
in Aspen?
Nope.
Nope.
I
But
did
it does
not-
start with an A.
Argentina.
Austin. It was in Austin, Texas, I
South
think, in
by.
2018, South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, South by Southwest. I was doing interviews in a small media room I sort of snuck into, and you guys were cool enough to let me do it while you were in the background.
That was good. I was like, who is this joker?
Yeah, exactly.
The fuck is this guy's deal?
No, seriously, I showed up. I showed up at South by South. I can't remember who did it. It might have been BuzzFeed. I think it was BuzzFeed. Somebody was walking. It was a writer for, I think it was BuzzFeed, and they saw my hoodie. It says "Ask me about Bitcoin," and they said, "So what about Bitcoin?" I was like, "Bro, I'm way too high to be giving financial advice." And they quoted me and posted it. They took a picture of it. It was all over the internet. I was like, "No fucking way!" They really quoted me on that.
That's perfect.
Well, if you're too high to be giving financial advice, what do you make of McAfee and his, $1 million prediction a year from now?
I think if he's sober, I don't want any of his advice.
By the way, he just released his first. He's announced his campaign for president for 2020, and
So
he
is
put out a
Bloomberg.
tweet that was like, politicians are always clean cut with their suit and tie, and the whole video is him of being disheveled, shoved in police cars, being arrested,
Oh,
playing
nice.
with his guns. It's pretty crazy.
He had a video the other day, just him and his wife listening to Meek Mill rap, smoking bong hits.
That's exactly
He's like,
what I want
he
in my
goes,
president.
he goes, sometimes the video's worth more than 1,000 words. Okay.
Sometimes
Get
it's not worth
it, get it,
Nailed it.
McAfee. He's been on our show now, what, 3 times? He's a friend of the show, and wow, like we had him on the 100th episode, then we had him on the 200th episode. We were going to have him on the 300th episode, but we thought he was going to get arrested before then, and so we had him on a little early.
Yeah, that was a safe bet. I mean, he like calls in from a Terrafay cage nowadays.
From a Faraday cage?
Faraday
Really?
cage, yeah. He's
Ah!
all tinfoiled out, man. It's all tinfoiled out.
Nice. My bedroom windows are tinfoiled out because so it's darker, so I can sleep.
Yeah, I've had John on a podcast. Actually, I think the first time I talked to him on a podcast was like 2016, and I've hung out with him a few times. He's officially my adopted father, and Janice is my adopted mother. So shout out to mom and dad. But seriously though, let's see. What were you guys doing before the Bad Crypto podcast? I want to dive into you guys. Like, what were you doing before Bitcoin?
Yeah, Travis, you go first.
I was doing
always
nothing. I was homeless, and then I wasn't.
You
No.
accepted Bitcoin out on the sidewalk?
I accepted Bitcoin on a sign. It said homeless need Bitcoin, and
I
then
knew
somebody
that was
gave me
gonna work for somebody.
842 Bitcoin. Now look at me.
Well, that's the Bitcoin sign guy. He held that up, and he got a shit ton of Bitcoin for that.
That was nice. Well, he did a good thing for the visibility of Bitcoin. No, so I'm a marketing technologist, and I wrote a book. Between Joel and I, we've written 16 books, which is really impressive considering that I've only written one of them, which is nice. And so it's all about so I wrote a book about social business, marketing technology, customer experience, and emerging technologies. I've been in this marketing space for about 20 years. I was the global digital strategist for Symantec for the Norton antivirus brand. I did that for a couple of years. I worked on a lot of brands, did a lot of stuff. So basically what I've always sort of done is digital marketing. I've kind of seen what's happening next, and I get there a little bit before everybody else, right? And then I sort of am able to see, and I test things out. Like I was on Friendster pretty early, and then I did my first social media marketing campaign on Friendster right before there was Facebook, because I was like, this social media stuff's pretty cool. What can we do with it? And so it's always been a little bit of seeing what's next, and then so that whenever I wrote the book, that came out in 2017, and I got into Bitcoin in 2010. I mined a block of Bitcoin back in 2010 after that Slashdot article came out, and then my laptop was really shitty, and then I went to a faucet and I got 5 Bitcoin from a Zabo's faucet. So I had 55 Bitcoin, and then my computer crashed. But Bitcoin wasn't worth anything then, and whenever my computer crashed, I didn't think to get those Bitcoin off. Or I don't even know that I would have known how to get those Bitcoin off at that time. So it's lost on some laptop somewhere, which was really painful when they were worth over, around $20,000. And my Bitcoin that I lost was I lost $1 million worth of Bitcoin at one time, which was very sad. So I figured I might as well, instead of crying about it, do a show with Mr. Joel Comm.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could always try to backtrack that laptop to a landfill if it ever comes down to a valuable price worthwhile enough. Landfill, I think that's another thing that people don't realize is about 3 to 4 million Bitcoin are lost in that means the same way as yours. So you're not alone. And
Do you think you think I'm gonna spend time going through a dumpster?
No, but somebody might. Somebody might.
Somebody might. There you go. Lee Summit, Missouri. There's a dump somewhere.
Right? You have these like hard drive treasure maps. People, instead of going on the beach with these metal detectors looking for dropped gold, people will be going to landfills looking for lost hard drives. And by the time it comes to be able to unencrypt whatever shitty password Windows maybe.
If as long as it didn't get smashed, they put it in the little trash compactor smasher deal.
That'd be a great documentary, Raiders of the Lost Bitcoin.
Right. Fortunately and unfortunately, we don't recycle enough for that to be a true worry. It's sad fact, but you could probably go to any landfill and see that there's not much recycling of those computer components. They don't reuse them as much as Apple and all these companies would.
Totally should, especially with those rare earth elements and stuff that's in them now. When we were talking in Vegas, you were talking about how you have like 100 phones. You've never recycled a phone because you won't turn it in because it has your private data in it. Now imagine if everybody's like that, all those rare earth elements and the gold and the silver and all that stuff that's in those phones, like there's at least $100 worth of shit in those phones that's valuable. So you're sitting on probably about $3,000 worth of rare earth elements.
Yeah, and as they mass produce these devices that consume those elements, it actually may be profitable. I mean, there was a machine, I think it was at World CryptoCon, that like ate phones and gave you money for it or something. It was, I don't know if it was at the actual conference itself, but somewhere in the casino, you could sell your phone at a vending machine for money to go gamble with.
I'm eating my phone.
That's a really good idea.
It's tasty, yeah. Tastes
People
like
be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go steal that dude's phone.
Right. Tastes like an
apple.
apple.
Joel, what were you doing before you went bad into crypto?
I've been in the tech space forever. I had my first computer in 1980 and was dialing into BBSs at 300 baud before you was even a glimmer in your mama's eye, boy.
Nerd alert.
I used to log in at 290 baud. Just beat you, Joel. Suck it.
So I built my first website in 1995, and I've been playing around in a lot of different tech sandboxes. I've written 15 books. I've created applications for both desktop and for mobile. I've hosted a reality show online. I've spoken all over the world, and crypto is the latest obsession. Love doing the show with Travis and getting to see the future of money. We don't know exactly how it's going to look, but we definitely could read the writing on the wall and see where this thing is going. And to me, when I discovered and understood Bitcoin and mining and this whole system and how it works, I was like, holy crap, it's 1995 all over again. This feels just like I felt when I realized that the web was a thing. And I could see the future of it. And so, you don't have to be too visionary now at this point to see that Bitcoin and crypto is the future of currency.
Now, what was that rabbit hole experience like for you guys? Like, when you first heard about it, obviously you were mining it, but like when you decided to do the podcast, what was that conversation like?
Well, Travis and I were having all these conversations about the U.S. election. He and I, we've known each other for a number of years, but we discovered that we were of the same political stripe in 2015 or 16. And so our discussions about politics were taking place almost daily online. And then the election happened and a lot of people went boo-hoo and some people cheered. And then our conversations turned to crypto in early 2017. Oh, it's our producer. You finish the story, Travis. I'm going to answer this call.
Nice. Yes. So I ended up writing an article for Huffington Post about this, sort of really deciphered like, so what's the deal with WikiLeaks and John Podesta and Hillary and Putin and Trump and what's this? And like, I just went through all the different stuff. Podesta, his password for his email was password with an @ and he left his cell phone in a taxi, and that was hacked by Russians because his password was so difficult. And I don't know, it was just
we hacked your taxi.
We hacked your taxis. Welcome
See,
to Russian hexing.
at that point, things like that make me think people were just paid to do dumb shit like that on purpose. Because there's no way, that's too coincidental.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And then, and the other thing, so I just did all this analysis and it's like, dude, that WikiLeaks stuff was not it was not hacked by anybody in Europe. It was impossible because the download times was incongruent with the download speeds of the transatlantic cable system. And they tested it in multiple different locations, I think 15 different locations across Europe, trying to get anywhere near the exact download speed that those files were transferred from wherever to wherever. And they did the analysis and they said, no, the speeds are congruent exactly with the USB drive, because the way how fast those things were saved one after another and how big they were, when they did the forensic analysis on it, it was that it had to be a USB stick. It was no way that it was transferred over the transatlantic internet system. And so I just went through all these points. I don't know, like 25 different points. The article was like 5,000 words long. But I came to the conclusion, I said, we could bitch about the problem, blame the Russians, blame Santa Claus, blame the Tooth Fairy. But what we need a solution. The solution, it seems clear to me, is some sort of voter ID system that's tied to identity, that's tied to a blockchain, right? And then you get yourself a system that's foolproof and you can't manipulate it because it's transparent and all of this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And so from that moment, I started getting into that. Was in December of 2016 when I wrote that article. I started getting all these different conversations. And there was this one project that was popping up called Deep Sea, which was the plan was it to be like a decentralized Reddit, decentralized Twitter sort of hybrid. And then the CEO was kind of wishy-washy and decided, no, let's do a decentralized YouTube instead. And so we were going to do an ICO. We were going to create this thing. And I was, helping found it and to be the CMO and talk to Joel about, dude, how cool would it be to have a decentralized social platforms out there where people can speak their mind and the news can be verified and all this other stuff? Because right now, with the thing was really wild is there's this thing called the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act that happened in 2013. And what that did was that eliminated the ban by the media to use propaganda on the citizens. And so what happens is since 2013, we've noticed where now journalists on major, mainstream media are no longer beholden to the truth. They can tell us what they want to tell us because they need the traffic and they need the clicks, and they can pretend to be real if they want to, but then there's no repercussions if they're not accurate anymore. Whereas before that there was. And so that right there was a big problem. Most people don't know about the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. And so that's something that we can say, thanks, Obama, because now we've got all this divisive stuff all over our society because news can tell us whatever they want just because they have their feelings hurt. And so it was just a big pain in the ass. But then we just sort of kept having conversations, Joel and I would, and it just turned into crypto. And we started noticing, like, what about this ant shares thing? Look at this. This is like a Chinese Ethereum thing. And what's going on with that? And so Joel jumped on ant shares early at like $2. And then I was still trying to figure out how to get my cryptos from Coinbase. I was moving them. And it's like, so I had gotten crypto early on, but I didn't have any crypto buddies. I didn't have anybody. I reached out to multiple friends that are really smart of mine, and none of them got it. And
I was like fifth string. I was down the list.
He was way down. It's like, my 2010 buddies failed me, my 2013 buddies, my 2015 buddies. Finally, I got a 2017 buddy who helped me get crypto.
I remember when I ran into one of the first not Bitcoin friends, but from like a friend before Bitcoin at a Bitcoin event, and we like walked past each other, took a double look, and we know each other. Somebody I know, and I still have yet to have that experience reoccur. But it's like it is still. I think we're at mass interest or mass awareness, but definitely not near mass adoption for the long part.
What year did you get involved?
2016. I got my first Bitcoin.
Nice. Hopefully, you were able to stack lots of sats before it exploded.
Yeah, I went all in, man. I sold my PlayStation, Xbox, I sold my TV, my recliner, I sold my entertainment center, my laptop. I sold everything I owned out of my apartment, literally for Bitcoin in 2016, and I was in the Bahamas when it broke 20K.
That's
Nice.
commitment right there.
Yeah. I got into Ethereum at like $3 to $4. I did a video, which is like one of my funnier ones out there, I think on Facebook. I bought Ripple in a video just to show people how to use a Ledger wallet for Ripple, and like how weird it was they had to keep like 20 XRP locked in it to do shit. I don't know. But it turned out I had like 30,000 of them. And somebody reminded me, they were like, dude, Ripple's going up and you're calling it a scam, but you have all this Ripple. And I'm like, oh shit, I do. Because it was like 3 cents at the time, and it didn't really cost much to do like a decent video where it looked like a lot was moving around.
And then it got up to like $3 or something.
Right, it went up to like 370, dude. So I got in a bubble bath. I got into a bubble bath, and I went live on a live stream, and I dumped it all at like 370, and everyone was like, "It's going to $5," and I was like, no, not a chance in hell. It doesn't. The amount of volume that it had to consistently go in to sustain that value at that like volume of currency, it's no way sustainable. So I was like, I'm out.
That's hilarious. So let's do the math here. You bought 20,000 of those bad boys
30,000 at 3 cents.
30. You bought 30,000 of those bad boys at 3 cents. So you spent $900.
Yeah, on the video. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, I used to make videos on like.
Dude, you turned $900 into $111,000 in theory. That's crazy.
I pulled an Ian Bellina and I posted how much I made on Instagram one time, and I think it might still be up there somewhere. But I had at the most like almost $400,000 from crypto. Just
nice.
like fucking around in crypto, and I pretty much blew it all traveling the world, being a crypto conference roadie.
There you go. Very good. And then the price going down, and then being sad.
Yeah,
and then taking your gains. Oh yeah. You took your gains in crypto, and then it goes.
Yeah. Starting our show was spontaneous too. I mean, it wasn't like we planned this out. You know, we just were like, when are we gonna start a show? Oh, let's do it, and that was it.
Well, you came out with way more professionalism than 99% of the Bitcoin podcast that started to pop up during the bubble.
Can we just say 100%? Who had better production quality than we had? Come on.
The Bitcoin podcast. I actually have their tattoo right here. They got me into crypto.
You just sold to them.
I'm biased. Yeah, I'm biased. But yeah, no, seriously. Other than them, you have the best production value in podcasting at the time, and it's
and there's a reason for that. I mean, we both have a history in broadcasting. We've both done radio. We're both, DJs. We've both done marketing and content creation for years. So we kind of had a head start. We just applied the skills that we already had to this new project. And so it was just Travis and myself. We just, we did it. We put it together. He designed the site and put it up, the logo, and we set up the podcast feed, because we've done podcasts, before, and I edited the program using Adobe, and boom, there we go. We had a show.
We came up with our intro music that we still use today. We came up with that. Literally, we had the idea on July 16th, 2017, and on July 18th, we had everything launched. Everything was a go. And then before you know it, we had 1,000 listeners, and it was just crazy. And then the next thing you know, we had 2,000.
I noticed that.
And then within the first month, we had like over 50-something thousand downloads. And I was like, what? In one first month, we've got over 50,000 downloads on this thing, huh? We must be on to something. And since then, we're over 8 million now at this point.
Yeah, I got in like 2016 to start doing podcasting just because I wanted to talk to people and pick their brain, and that was before everyone was cool. So like Eric Voorhees and Ryan X. Charles, Andreas Antonopoulos, Charlie Lee, all these amazing people just happened to like be cool with coming on my show. So I was like, all right, cool. I have a podcast, just because I needed a soapbox to talk to people on that were, elite in the space, so I could learn more. And at this point, I just been to so many events. It's just like reaching out to a friend in the context, like, hey, you want to come on the podcast?
Yeah. No, that's what's so great about it. That's one of the things, like, I decided long ago. So I had a website back in 2006 called Cultivate Greatness that I had put together, and I'd had like 900 articles that I'd written on. I spent a lot of time on this thing. And then somebody had come in and some hacker got into the back end on WordPress and corrupted the database and stuff. But I had a podcast that I had launched around then. And so I decided You know, at that time, like I was interviewing top authors and business people who had done all this cool shit, and like even some spiritual people that were doing cool stuff. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to spend a portion of my life, the rest of my life, interviewing people that are really interesting in different areas. And then I went on to host the Technorati tech podcast out of Silicon Valley. I co-hosted the Venture Beat podcast with Stuart Rogers, and I've done with Bad Crypto. It's like I've been a part of over 1,000 podcast episodes and webinars and stuff, right? Type of things. So it's like, and then all the comedy background that I've done stand-up comedy 250, 300 times over the years, going up on stage. I'm going up again on Friday night here locally. Yeah. And I'd say I want to start doing that more at crypto events. Have an event where there's like some crypto comedy and some crypto people going up cracking jokes. It's always fun.
Make sure you reach out to Mike Salvi. Mike Salvi's I don't know if you were there, he opened up for Fluffy at the in Vegas. It was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. So it's good, making people think, making people laugh. I love that. I love doing that shit.
Right on. Well, what do you guys think of like
they're laughing?
Well, that's really good talent.
Podcasts that are coming up and popping up out of the woodwork, because we're not in a short of Bitcoin podcasts. You can check Crypto Twitter. You can go to any iTunes or whatever and just type in the word Bitcoin. And it seems like everyone has a fucking podcast anymore. And I don't know how I feel about that.
That's just life.
I
you know
don't
what?
care. I mean, let people do whatever they want to do. And if there's a lot of, Me Too podcasts, oh, look at me, I've also got a Bitcoin podcast. That's great. Are you doing something to set yourself apart from the other shows? Or are you just doing the same thing everybody else is doing? When we came around, there were no active shows of people that were speaking to regular people, right, about Bitcoin and crypto. We didn't come in as experts, and that's why the whole bad branding is that, hey, we don't know what we're talking about, but we're fascinated by it. We're going down the rabbit hole. Come along with us. And by the way, here's a healthy helping of bad dad jokes to go with it. Everybody else was taking it very seriously, and
then the dirty dirt, and then the burp algorithm, and people are listening to that like they're going, "What the hell are these guys talking about? I have no idea. These people are meaning and saying." And then we come along cracking jokes and telling people how it all works in a simple to understand format, and we're funny. And that just made people go, "Oh, funny looking."
The sad thing is, I understood exactly what you just said there, Travis.
Me too. I was telling him, I was like, "Oh, you're talking about Ethereum. I know that talk."
It's true.
Yeah, I just went to iTunes and searched for Bitcoin and podcasts, and there's a lot more now than I knew even existed. Like, I keep scrolling.
I worry about the misinformation side of the fact of it, where people pop up with these things like I don't know if you're familiar with the Wild West crypto guys, but even they are interview with that York Molt guy, and they're still perpetuating the ideology that this guy is a Bitcoin co-founder and using their podcast, their platform to promote that. And it's I don't know, it's just weird to think like they have a big following, they're on like mainstream media, and they're using it to misinform, either willingly or not, but they are without a doubt saying that York Molt is a Bitcoin co-founder, then promoting his Bitcoin and pension plan and Satoshi School scam. I mean, that's where I'm like, these podcasts that keep popping up out of nowhere and start to get these big followings, I think they're at a high risk of being taken advantage of as viewers.
Yeah, and historically, like, iTunes is really wonky. Like, its ranking system is really strange. It's like, even though that we've had collectively over 400 episodes, and like what Bitcoin did is has all these different episodes that they've done, and the Bitcoin network has these episodes. A lot of times the iTunes algorithm is so wonky that some of these people with low quality shows and only a few shows will pop up in rankings. Like, we rank really well for the term crypto, but right now it looks like we're not ranking very well for Bitcoin or blockchain, whereas normally we rank in the top 5 on all of those terms. So it's like right now there's something weird going on with the iTunes algorithms. that's making
Well,
different
you
shows
guys
pop
would
up.
know. Maybe it's like some kind of paid SEO type of scenario where, like Google, you have to pay to get put up higher, even though you
Well, it's
have.
not necessarily that, but like people will do this stuff with podcast, quote unquote, podcast promoters. It's pretty unethical, and they're like go through this thing and like they spend a little money and and use some bots and stuff for voting and rankings and different things. And next thing you know, they'll pop up at the top. We've always tried to stay away from any of that manipulation. That way we don't get punished, because you know how these big tech companies are nowadays. If you do something out of line, then we're going to demonetize you and we're going to deplatform you because we don't like your opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they that's why I stream on 8 platforms simultaneously in case YouTube or somebody decides to deplatform me. I'm like, whatever. I got a few left.
What are those 8 channels that you stream on?
Let's see. Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Vim, which is Steam It, DLive, Float, Mixer. I just signed up for Mixer because I didn't see anybody doing Mixer for Bitcoin. I was just like, well, if anybody goes on Mixer and types the word Bitcoin in, I win.
Yeah, I was seeing that same thing recently, as I just got an Xbox One, and I saw that on the Mixer, and I was going, wait a second, there's not a lot of crypto content on here.
Yeah, that's why. As soon as I saw that when I went to Mixer, I was just like, well, I guess I'm. And you mentioned that earlier, early in on these platforms. Where do you guys got a bad crypto TikTok? Because everybody on crypto Twitter is fucking doing it, and it's pissing me off. And I almost feel peer pressured into it, but I'm just like, fuck TikTok.
Yeah. I did set one account up the other day just to kind of watch it. I noticed that BitBoy, the dude from Bitcoin Beards, like he's doing just some off the wall ones, and he's got like a couple of them that have like over 2 million views. Like, it's like, whoa, wait a second. There's something here that I don't know yet.
Adoption, subtle Bitcoin mass adoption, right there.
Yeah, he's got multiple ones with over 500,000.
BitBoy is responsible for that right there. If you type in Bitcoin logo BitBoy, you can find the history of BitBoy's submission to the addition of the Bitcoin logo.
Ah, okay, nice.
He forever changed the face of Bitcoin, man, single-handedly. That dude's a legend.
That's awesome. Congratulations, BitBoy, you legendary legend.
Yeah, him and his beard. So
maybe we should be looking at Restream, Travis.
Oh yeah, Restream for sure, and you can stream to multiple platforms simultaneously. I have a referral link I've never used, but it's there. I don't know how to get to it, but I know there is one.
So that's what you use, is Restream, and it goes out to all these different things?
Yeah.
So it's all going out right now. We're on all these different platforms right now.
Yeah, right now, simultaneously. And all I need is the RTMP key. So I'm waiting for more platforms like SoMe, .social, where it's just like built on like Steam It. So it's like, a decentralized type of social media like you were talking about. That's where I want to stream anyway. I was looking at BitTube and DLive and DTube, all those platforms. Whatever one has a ability to use the RTMP streaming key, I'll add it to the list and I'll stream on that platform.
That's
so
smart.
streamy.
Yeah,
you're dreamy and streamy.
I'm spamming all the platforms with Bitcoin chatter.
That's good.
But you know what though? It's not good though, because my YouTube views used to get 10 times the amount of views. 10 easy. I would get like 2,000 to 3,000. You could look at before I started doing this. Got thousands of views because I have about 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. But now, if I'm on Facebook or Twitter and I say, hey, check out nobody has to leave that platform to go and watch or listen. They can just stay on Facebook, stay on Twitter, and kind of like do that pop-up where you can keep scrolling and listening. And I find
that's okay.
I still get the amount of views diversified across all platforms, but it's really bad for like.
Well, you want to go where the people are, right? That's okay. Go where the people are. That's good.
Yeah, but it's just bad for like the algorithms and stuff. Like it doesn't pop.
YouTube can suck it though. YouTube, they're doing stuff that's not in the best interest of content creators. Yeah, they're doing what's in the best interest of YouTube and Google, and their new policy, their new privacy policies, the biggest crap of shit that I've ever seen.
I got a weird warning for their Copa strike shit earlier. I was just like, if any of my content comes off anywhere near remotely child fucking related or whatever, they're ridiculous. Like whatever, sue me. I don't care. I'm not worried about it, but I'll keep posting.
Well, they
stuff
have a
on
big
there
problem
until
right now. They
delete
have a
it.
bit. There's a thing going on with was it the FCC coming after them because a lot of YouTube's revenues is made from the little kids watching the silly videos that are just on mom and dad's iPad or whatever, and
Yep.
there's a strict rule about advertising to children that Google and YouTube has not been abiding by, and they said that there's a chance that they can get fined per instance of like $42,000, and so there's some big hefty fines coming to YouTube allegedly because
Yeah.
they're advertising to children accidentally.
They're passing that fine on to the content creators on their platform, which is why a lot of people are just leaving. If you look up Copa YouTube goodbye, hundreds of YouTubers have posted videos saying pretty much this is my last video, goodbye, my YouTube and they're millions of subscribers, dozens, tens of millions of views on their videos that are like 20 minutes long, so they made decent revenue. And they all said goodbye because they can't afford the risk of YouTube saying, well, your video's why we got sued, so now we're suing you.
Yeah,
so a
I
lot
would
of
not
content creators
build-
are looking for new platforms.
Yeah, I would not build on YouTube I wouldn't build on anything as a sole platform. Right. That's just, and we need new ways of doing this. This is why decentralization is so freaking important.
No,
And there's not a decentralized solution for podcasts. It's like if Apple kicks you out, you're host.
Yeah,
I think Token FM and there's other random things. I think Ujo Music and stuff work on similar things to try to decentralize content in that sense. But yeah, there's nothing like ready, like triple star.
You think
ready.
of iPod and podcasts, you think of Apple,
right?
And so if Apple decides that you're not worthy, then they're like the last bastion of free speech. I mean, Facebook's banning people, Twitter's banning people, YouTube, and then Google's banning search results, on that they don't like, and they're going in and banning videos that talk about things that they don't want. It's like it's interesting. If you're even slightly conservative, they don't want. There's no media that wants to have any of that now. These big tech companies.
God forbid we should have opinions out there that don't
well,
fall in
what
line
if
with.
what if your content is considered financial advice even though you don't consider it, but the government decides to consider it? And that's what I worry about a lot of podcasting in general as well, is a lot of people don't realize the guests that they have on may be saying things that are not just incriminating the guest but also incriminating the host.
Well, that's
with
why you
the
have disclaimers
verbiage they're
I
using.
mean, we have a disclaimer on every
Well, yeah,
show.
professionals do. I didn't put a disclaimer up. I just assume people know I'm high as shit and they should not take any financial advice from me. But
Well, why don't you just start your show like that? Just say that. Hey, welcome, gang. I'm high as a kite right now, and this ain't financial advice. So don't be an idiot and don't do just because you heard it here. That's it. There's your disclaimer, and then take a hit.
There you go.
Not financial advice.
That's nice. What part of the world are you in?
Wait, what?
What part of the world are you in?
Right now I am in New Jersey.
Okay, gotcha. Nice.
Yeah, I'm
Are
actually
you
headed
based
to
out of
Philly.
Are you based out of New Jersey?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. I'm
Right on.
looking for a place in Philly to move. I'm actually headed to Philly in a few hours for a Steam It meetup. One of those decentralized social platforms, and we're gonna be talking about Splinterlands, the Steam Monsters trading card game on the blockchain.
Yeah, we had them on the show, and I think it's a cool thing. I'm not sure that they've got a real audience yet of people playing it.
No, that's beautiful in my opinion, because I have a shit ton of cards and they're scarce. So when that audience builds up, bro, I've already cashed out like $500 worth of cards that were free.
Nice.
I love it. Yeah, they're about to release an application for Android and iOS. So when that happens, when the audience builds up, like, in crypto, scarcity applies to the digital assets in the game.
We'll see. I'm watching Gods Unchained a little closer.
Yep, I have a bunch of their cards too.
They've got the funding. They opened up their market just last week, and I've sold a few cards.
Yeah, they took a long time, though, for the amount of funding that they claim to have had to get to where they're at as a final product, still in, like, their beta polishing stage. Like, I had higher hopes for them because they were one of those, like, AAA games that were competing, on that level of Magic the Gathering Arena, the desktop trading card game thing in that sense. So I have a bunch of their cards though. I tried to get one of their mythics, but I didn't end up getting one. But I got a few.
Oh,
of the others.
they're worth like $60,000 or something.
I
That's
know,
crazy.
bro. I spent like 10eth trying to get one of those. Like it was, I went for it, and I got a decent amount of their rarer cards, and I actually have it on my computer. I played it a few times. I just don't. I don't know. I don't have people that play it enough. You know, when you go into play, it's a waiting game.
I bought them purely for the investment.
Same in a way.
Played Hearthstone, but it takes a lot to really understand the mechanics of every card and how they work together. And I just didn't want to invest my time in that. But I definitely see that the artwork on these cards is phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Actually, I was playing Magic. I still play Magic. I have a shit ton of Magic cards. I wanted to go to a tournament in Philly. I was going to go and talk to them about, online stuff, but I never ended up making it. But I feel like there has to be a reason why these legacy corporations like Blizzard, and Hearthstone and all this, they don't utilize the technology that the competition like Gods Unchained are coming up with, and using, these asset-backed
Well, they've got a
token.
whole system that is built. They have to retool the whole system, and that right now those are cash cows for them. So we just talked to, Ryan Rodden of Castle Crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had him on the show. His site is one of the few that's, reviewing
His logo
these games.
just popped up. Yeah, he actually has a logo on my channel because he hooked me up once with something, and I told him I'm going to put his logo on my podcast for life. So when you mentioned his name, his logo popped up, which is
What's
fun.
really interesting is he just messaged me right now, and he said that Microsoft is making tokens with Engine. It's a new thing called Azure Heroes. So I will be buying some of that, because if Microsoft is making digital collectibles, forget about it.
Yep, I've been telling the people I'm pumping NFTs, but I don't think people get it. Like Travis is over there like, fuck these NFTs.
No, I'm not like that. I just don't play those. I literally never played Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played Magic the Gathering. I played Uno. That's a card game. I used to take baseball cards and like put them in my spokes and make it sound like I was driving a motorcycle.
Oh yeah, you were the kid who took your Ken Griffey Jr. card and ruined it.
No, not my Ken Griffey Jr. cards. My shitty, guys you never heard of. I understood that. I knew which ones not to.
All right, dude. That stuff. When I was a kid, I was always aware of that kind of stuff. I don't know what made me aware of it. Really, I think it was like the whole. I grew up next to trading card shops. Like there was like 3 of them in my neighborhood that were like legacy, and there's one that's actually in that movie Unbreakable, the movie Glass. That they just made it. That comic book shop, that trading card store, is in both of those movies in Philadelphia.
Oh, nice.
That's how old it is. And I used to get my cards from there, and the guy that would sell them would always like help. But like he wasn't, at least in my opinion, I was like 10 years old. It was like helping us understand. He would like, well, you open them here, and if you get a good one, he'll give you like a free sleeve to put it in. And he'd be like, well, this one's worth $5, so he'd write on the sleeve $5, and just wouldn't like try to keep any of them, just like helping us learn about that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that was what was interesting, is that there was a time where those cards, because I'm in my 40s. There was a time when those cards, those collectibles were really worth something, and then in the late 80s, what happened was they just started mass producing just shitloads of them, and then it's almost like it was fiat currency. And even Ken Griffey Jr., it's like Ken Griffey Jr. is badass, and I actually, and I kid you not, I bought some packs at a flea market recently, and I got a Ken Griffey Jr. Fleer rookie card, and I go, what? I got a Ken Griffey Fleer rookie card? This is great. And I look at the value of it, it's like $3. Like, why is it worth $3? Well, because they printed millions of them, and so it's like they're not even rare. And like, imagine, I think that's something like with collectibles and stuff, as we get to the NFTs and different things, like then this is one of 20. Right? There's not a lot of these, and so then the values can kind of increase when you have 3 million of them out there, and who cares? Like there's no
Well, there's a lot
value
of
because there's so
false
many.
market supply in that trading card stuff too, because they'll say they printed 1 million, but there's only 1,000 of them left in circulation. Meanwhile, there's really like 90,000 of them that survived the past decade, so it doesn't really matter. But they forged
Right.
the numbers, so you can't even check out any kind of public ledger of that and see that you're being sold a card that actually has more in circulation than you're being told.
Yeah.
So I think there's gonna be a lot of NFT action out there, right? But it's gonna be these big moves. I mean, I just looked at the story that Ryan just sent me about Microsoft, and I mean they are issuing tokens on Engine, and it's all community based stuff. So I'm not exactly sure how these work. I don't think you can buy them. I think that they're issuing them to what they call their heroes.
Ooh.
People that are having a meaningful impact in the technical community. Travis, we need to cover this on our next bad news.
We're meaningful. Most of that's meaningful.
Yeah, that's
I like
pretty
to-
interesting. I like the concept of earning a badge of honor from that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm dropping the link in the.
I wonder
the Zoom chat.
how like the third party market will be for those things. Like you can go and buy Oscar awards and Emmy trophies that people have decided to pawn and auction. So I'm sure if you win one of these, you could probably make a decent amount just selling it.
Well, I think this is going to be good for Engine, right? News and Engine.
Oh, I
is
have
like
my own
6 cents.
Engine coin, man. You want one? You have an Engine wallet? I have my own
Of course I
collectible
do.
on the Engine blockchain, dude.
Yeah, man. I want a Bozak
Yeah,
token.
there's 420 of them in circulation.
That's great. I need to make I need to make a TW one, I think.
Well, message Engine. That's all I did. I was like, "Hey, Engine, can I have my own collectible?" And their like Twitter account said, "Yeah." So they made it happen, which was really cool. And it cost like $1,500 to do it. So like, shout out to Engine. I didn't pay for any of that.
Oh, that's great.
They actually have a thing with Samsung too. Like they're helping them build their blockchain wallet technology with Samsung.
We had them on Bad Crypto really early, like in late 2017. We did one of those crypto spotlights when they were still in their infancy. It's one of those ones that's just sort of taken off over time that it's having a life of its own now. And you know what? These are the kind of things that are going to bring us to mass adoption. Like here we are in Microsoft talking about non-fungible tokens and how long until there's, crypto tokens on an Xbox game, right? We're probably not too far away from that. There's some other stuff that's if Microsoft is doing this now, there's probably something in the works on some Xbox type of thing, and there's some sort of marketplace in play or some community deal that they're going to be working on that's going to be coming out. That if they're here now, they're already thinking about where it's going to go.
Yeah, this is a proof of concept for sure, like a springboard of where an idea can start and grow. And I think this is like hopefully it incentivizes like the loyalty and rewards industry in merchants side of the world, where like we could see, instead of just these in-game assets tokenized, see like loyalty and rewards points from like whatever Walgreens or Target and shit like that tokenized as well, because I got a bunch of these rewards points that I'm never going to use because I moved and those stores aren't anywhere near me anymore.
Yeah. Have you seen Air Coins?
Yeah, the Aircoins app.
Yeah.
Total thing. I have like 1 million of those coins. So whatever we're gonna say, like I have to be I'm gonna be up front. I got a shit ton of those coins. I love the concept of that.
I think it's great, man. It's Pokemon Go with crypto, and
Yep.
I've been traveling, and what the best time to do it is when you're in a car, like when you're in an Uber, because you're you're being driven, and you just pick them up like crazy as you're going.
Yeah, no, I actually think it's a great concept. I was talking to Brian about using it for like conferences and meetups where like it kind of gamify environments, stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, it's like, and I like the idea like how Bravo's doing that. Like what you have that Bravo watch thing where like if Bozak's at an event and then people are around you, then they're just dropping cryptos.
Yeah, so this is a proof of location beacon, so people have to be near it in order to like review me or whatever the event is, and they earn crypto for doing it. And it's a proof of concept. Like We
That's
have a
cool.
meetup at a bar, and we were talking to the bar about, like, we went through their Yelp reviews, and you could clearly see that some of these reviews were from people that, you know, it says like where they live, like they were never here. They were just, you know, probably friends and family of local bars of competition, you know. So how do you get verified reviews? And I was showing that it's really interesting, the people that are on the underdog side of the spectrum, like, you know, not so much like franchises or chains, but mom and pop shop or individually owned businesses that have to compete with like Papa John's if you're like, you know, your own little pizza shop.
Mm. You know, what's interesting is that I left a review for this ramen shop that I was in Reykjavik in Iceland, and that thing has earned 154 Bravo, which is like a lot for like leaving like
Bravo.
one review. It's
Bravo,
crazy.
Travis.
And
Yeah.
it's liquid. You can trade it. It's on 2 exchanges right now. I was checking out because I earned some Bravo playing around with it at the conferences I've been going to, and I have a decent amount of Bravo now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth very much, but I mean, this the whole concept of it's great. We love the team over there. Adam and Lorena, very smart people, having set this thing up. Pretty cool.
Made me open my Bravo wallet to see if I had any rewards to claim.
Yeah, I actually.
Oh, I got to claim these.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, this XYO thing? I haven't figured out how XYO's doing anything. I got it, I set it up, but it doesn't do anything. It seems to be just data mining me. That's all I can. I think it's got a microphone in here. I don't know.
They're listening to you. They're gonna send you ads.
Yeah, they are. Hopefully they're sending me Pornhub ads and shit I can actually use.
Do you actually need ads? I mean, do you?
Well, you never know when, you know, your favorite content creator uploads their newest video and you can go and buy it on sale. Some ads,
You buy
I
porn?
think,
It's free. You can get porn for free. I don't know if you knew that.
that's theft. You wouldn't steal money from your grandma's purse.
I wouldn't download my grandma's porn either.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
I mean, I would.
Can we change the topic? I'm just saying.
Oh man, we got like 5 minutes left here. We gonna ask any serious questions.
Never. I don't think I like when things get serious.
That's ridiculous
It's just
talk there,
weird.
Travis, right?
That
Why
is-
would
That
you
is
do
true. I apologize.
So, how did you guys lose your virginity?
I was 19, and
That's a conservative age.
late bloomer. Well, I was pretty awkward. I mean, I was a nerd. I was, I had a TRS 80 when I was 16.
Yeah, but you were
years old.
smart enough to milk money that situation.
I was not. I had not yet blossomed, and I was working at a venture store in Chicago's North Shore, which is a store that used to be like a Target, department store.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a cute little Italian cashier, and she was on me like white on rice, and that she took it, man. That was
Nice.
that was it. I was done.
You were someone's type, man. There's someone for everyone.
That's true. I'm still waiting to lose my virginity. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen eventually.
You should
I
start.
swear.
You should sell it on the blockchain, auction it off, tokenize your virginity.
Yeah,
Virgin
it's been
coin.
long gone. Yeah, that's good. Actually, I connected with. I was at one of these parties as a teenager. I think I was 17. Hooked up with this redheaded girl, and it was the most impressive 7 seconds of her life. She
Yeah,
was really
yeah.
excited.
I could see that. I lost my
You're
virginity.
like, whoa,
thanks
this
to
is
the
way
internet.
more wet and moisture than I thought it was gonna be. Hold on. Oh my god, what? Wow. Hope that was good for you, baby. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready for round 2 already. Let's go.
She was already.
Oh,
dressed
look
and ready
at
to
it,
go.
look at it. Oh, man.
Sorry about the mess. You have a napkin.
Here's a moist towelette.
Wow, what a way to
Great
finish
stuff.
this show.
It's a way to finish the show. Oh, what a great show. Oh.
We just finished on all of their ears and screens.
Wow.
You got a spooge emoji?
This was
Just
a
throw up on the
bukkake
screen.
podcast, eh?
Hope not.
I just
not that show.
got striked on every platform I'm on for the verbiage. I know that the bot that's gonna do the transcription of this podcast, red flagging everything.
And it's probably going to
Oh, man.
spill over to us too. We're probably
Thanks a lot, Ballsack.
Oof, I haven't heard that in a while. I missed
Not
that.
ballsack, man.
Miss you guys.
You miss being called ball sack. It's good.
It's not
I think
nice.
you've introduced me twice now on stage as Ballsack, or at least shouted me out as Ballsack on stage. I fucking love that.
Well, you know what? I know if you'd hate it, I wouldn't do it, but because I know it's just funny. So I know you don't mind.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone in the audience is so serious, waiting for the next shiller the shitcoin sells them, and you're just like you said, you keep it funny. I appreciate that, guys, because everyone in this space, and that's what I love when I see you guys like emceeing events and shit too. Is it brings in the true essence of crypto, and you guys keep it weird and keep it professional at a balance that is like applaudable. So like, stay bad, bros. I fucking love you guys.
Thank you, brother. We love you too, man.
All right, we're out of here, guys. Check out the Bag Crypto podcast. Obviously, you know who they are if you're in the chat right now. Let us know what you guys think in the chat in the comments below, and have a day. We're out.